Welcome to my channel. My name is Ashley and I'm a six-figure reseller and I sell clothing on platforms primarily like Poshmark and eBay. So this one is for all my eBay newbies out there, or if you're trying to get into eBay and feel like you need some help. I have been on Poshmark way longer than I have been on eBay. I've been on eBay since 2019, I think it is, like the end of 2019. Fully on it, I think only for like 2 years, but I'm no longer a newbie anymore. I don't know like the full ins and outs, but I know what I need to know, and I have some tips if you are just getting started and there are a lot of things that you feel like you don't know about or you're scared about. These are all like the 7 things I think that you need to know going into eBay, some tips, and pretty much if you know these things, you can get started, and everything else that you learn is kind of just like an extra. So I'll go into these 7 things very high level. I could totally go into like a whole nother video on one of these 7 things and go more in depth on them, but I'm just gonna go over very like high level of it and just what you need to know about it. If you have any, I guess, questions, or if there's any one of these specific tips or areas that you would want further clarification on or further and more in-depth knowledge on, leave it below in the comments and then I'll do another video specifically about that one thing. So these tips or things to know are in no particular order, just kind of what I granted down. So one thing is not like more important than the other, just overall like 7 flat things that you should know. All right, let's get into it. The first thing that you should know, and probably the most common thing that always comes up, is know the person that is offering a full price on your item and asking for you to contact them on their email or their phone number is not a real buyer. They're just like a spam or a scam buyer. Just decline the offer, don't accept it. They're never going to pay. So if that comes in, you just know that you have to get by that. They usually do go after more so new accounts on there. Once you do have a few more sales under your belt, they do start to decrease, but they will come about. Don't let that stop you from selling on eBay. You just gotta get past them. When I had first started selling on eBay, they only were sending offers and then also putting that message in with the offer. The offer would be a full price or even more than full price, so it never made full sense to me why they wouldn't just buy the item at the price it is. But it's essentially the same exact thing as when you price something high on Poshmark and you get that comment that's like, please reach out to me at this at gmail.com, and you just like delete the comment. So you just have to ignore them. I have heard people saying that people are purchasing the item and then leaving messages. So that sucks a little bit more because you do have to wait and then just relist that item once they don't buy the item, or you could try to reach out to eBay to see if you can get the item relisted without a defect on your account, which we'll go into a little bit later in this video. Just know overall, those are not real buyers. You have to get past them. They will go away after a little bit longer, but everyone pretty much goes through it when they start an eBay account. So it's kind of just like a welcome to the club type deal you have to go through. The next thing that you need to know about is the global shipping program. When you start selling on eBay, you will need / I'm gonna say will because like it doesn't even need to be a want or an option. You should click the little button that says global shipping program on your listing. It's all the way down in the delivery options. You just have to check this little button that says I want to participate in like the global shipping program, and then what that essentially does, it allows buyers who are international to purchase your items, and all you have to do is ship it domestically, and then eBay receives that, and then eBay handles all of the customs, all of the extra costs. They give that to the buyer. All you see is that somebody bought your item from overseas, you ship it like you normally would for every single other item you would domestically, and send it to eBay, and then they handle the rest. So there is absolutely no reason that you should not participate in the global shipping program. You do need to make sure that you have it selected on your listings. Once you have it selected on one, it usually does pre-auto populate onto all the other listings. But if you haven't selected it at first yet, you do want to make sure you go in and select that option. I have so many sales that come from international buyers, probably at least like 40, it almost seems like 50 sometimes, from international buyers do purchase my items. And eBay has a ton of users on it, and that's mainly because they also are international. So if you want to take advantage of the whole fact that there's so many users on eBay, you need to make sure that you're shipping globally, because if you're not, you're just cutting that user base like down in half. A lot of the times buyers reach out to me like, do you ship to this country? And you can just say like, I ship through the global shipping program, and that allows me to ship to X countries. There are some countries on there that don't go into the global shipping program. It looks like a ton, but all the really common ones do ship from there. I think it has to do with the buyer end, like they'll know if they'll be able to purchase it or not. I honestly, that's something like I don't know full amount of. All you need to know from this video is you want to participate, and it allows option to ship it domestically to international buyers. And what you'll see on your label is it always ships, at least for me, I don't know if there's multiple centers for eBay, but I ship mine to Kentucky. All of my labels say the same Kentucky address, and that's where their warehouse is, where they process all the things to send it globally. So that's just how I know where to ship it to. But essentially, I literally just process the labels and the shipping the same way as everything else when it comes to a global sale. The next thing you need to know about is the fee structure per item, and then if you have a store. So if you have a store, essentially what that allows you to do is not have to pay per item that you are listing. It gives you a set amount of listings per month to list it, and you just pay that set price each month. And there's a couple other benefits to having a store that I probably don't take advantage of, but the main reason why I have it is so that I don't have to pay that per listing price fee. And I believe, I haven't done it in a long time, it's about 30 cents to 50 cents, something in that range there. So if you are going to list a considerable amount of items, like over 250 items a month, then it is good for you to get the store. If you're trying to list just like 20 items a month, 10 items a month, then just pay the fees, I guess. However, if you are coming into this with like a reselling business and you want to add more items onto there, especially if you want to grow on eBay, which does require for you to list items every single day, then I do recommend that you just bite the bullet, just get the store automatically. It's a lot easier to pay the monthly fees for that, which are very little. I think the base one is like $30 a month for the basic, and that gives you like $250 or $500. I don't know, I'll put a little screenshot here of the cost of them, but it is so much easier just to pay that amount than have to deal with all the fees and keep track of the fees and stuff like that. So if you're having a resale business, just pay for the store, and you can decide what store is best for you just on how many items that you are putting in each month. It tells you exactly how many you can add each month on there. So whatever one fits best for you, just go ahead and get it. I think I have mid-tier one, but you can always start with the low one and then work your way up as you start to realize that you need more listings. On the app and on the eBay seller user face, it tells you exactly where you are on like a little sliding scale of how many more listings you have a month. So maybe just start with the beginning, and then if you start to realize you're creeping toward the end of that little meter and you need a lot more listings for how many days are left in the month, then you probably want to upgrade. But long story short, just to get the store. Next, we will talk about promoted listings. So I didn't promote my listings for the longest time. However, once I did start promoting my listings, I did see that I had a little bit more increase in sales. Not all of my listings sell promoted listings, but it is nice when they do sell on there and know that that extra promotion did help a little bit. It's great is that eBay only takes about 10% of fees versus if you're on Poshmark or like Tradesy or something like that, they are taking 20. So eBay is already taking such a lower amount. So promoting your listings is still a really good way to get your items up at the top of a search result or the algorithm that they have in order to get more eyes on your item, especially if it's an item or brand that is more saturated. So I started off promoting my listings at 2%, but I am trying and seeing what promoting it a little bit more, how that helps it. So I'm promoting it at like 6% now, because 16% of the selling price is still a lot better than like 20% from Poshmark or like 22% from Tradesy. So if that makes me more sales, and usually I do tend to sell my items for around the same price, I will usually sometimes go a little bit lower, but mentally just easier for me to sell them for similar prices. So I'm totally okay, and you probably should too if you're already selling on something with a lot higher of a percentage fee, to promote your listings a little bit more and hopefully get more sales and traction. Also, selling more items overall is very beneficial for being a seller on eBay, especially starting it off. You're going to get past those scam/spam messages a lot quicker, and also it helps you get more ratings on eBay, help you reach the top rater status quickly, and I do believe that it helps the algorithm overall when you have more sales and have more good ratings, and the more that you just are on eBay, the more sales that start coming in to your store. Because even when I had cross-listed everything over to eBay, and I'm still not making as much as I do on Poshmark with the same exact listings. However, I do notice that month over month, eBay goes up a lot more versus Poshmark. So eBay's slowly starting to creep up there, and I do believe that just because I am selling more, I've been on the platform longer, and that is just really benefiting my store overall. Okay, now let's talk about shipping costs, which is another huge thing with eBay, but it does not have to be hard at all. The first thing that you need to do is make sure that you get a scale. So it's a small electronic weighing scale so that you know how much your packages weigh when you're shipping them out, because you do need to calculate the shipping costs when you are shipping your items. Now, when it comes to exactly what to put as your shipping cost on your specific listings, I personally just do a flat rate for the buyers, and I change that up based on the different category / like how heavy the item is. Another thing to keep in mind is that I do have a lot of higher items into my closet, so I do prefer to ship my items priority, because if anything does happen with my items, I'm losing out on a ton of money. So I'll start off by saying, if you do more thrifting, if you do more getting items at a lower cost, you can do first class shipping, and if you're able to do first class shipping, then that does have to be under 1 pound. So if you're looking at any like light dresses or any shirts or any light pants, then I would just go ahead, price everything at $5 or $6, because that's the max that most first class shipping does end up being. However, for my closet, like I said, I do prefer to ship everything priority. And so to keep everything easy, I do also prefer to ship everything in a flat rate padded mailer if it fits into there, and that ends up being around $9. So I just go ahead, make everything a flat $9 for like those tops, those dresses, anything that can fit into there / is like under a pound. However, as we go up in weight, such as the sweaters or the jackets, I usually just estimate that, and I put that to be about like $16 for shipping, and that is just average. You do end up getting to know what those costs are as you continue to ship so many items and have to calculate those costs. So over time, that's just what I found works for me. But I do recommend you go ahead and put a flat cost on there, because it's so much easier. I have a VA that does go ahead and do my listings to eBay, and I tell her for these categories do this price, for these categories do this price. It's a really easy way to allow somebody else to also cross list your items and know specifically how much to put that in for shipping. The other option you can do is just have it calculate per buyer, but then you have to know the weight at that specific time and like the size of the package. So that's why I just go ahead and do the flat rate. Another reason to continue to make more sales and to have good ratings and everything like that on eBay is it does, like I said, help you reach top rater status. And having a top rated status allows you to have discount prices on shipping, so that can save you a ton of money there. And that is probably one of the biggest reasons why I like to stay in good status and top rated status on eBay, because I like my shipping discounts. It's not anything crazy, but it's very similar to Pirate Ship for padded flat rate envelopes, for example. I think it gives you about like a 70-cent discount on it, which definitely adds up over time. So I know we jumped around everywhere in terms of shipping, but main takeaways for shipping: get a scale, do a flat rate cost. If you have expensive items, do $9 or more, or if you have cheaper items that are really light, do like $5. You're good. Okay, now we'll talk about the top rater status, which I probably should talk about earlier, but like I said, I just jotted all these notes down and I didn't feel like putting them in a specific order. So we're gonna talk about the top rater status now. eBay kind of has like a rating system for their sellers, and they also have like a demerit system for their sellers. So anything that you do bad, you'll get a little demerit on your account, or defect as everyone calls it and eBay calls it, and you do not want to have those on your account or it's going to affect your rating. Now, there are so many different things that can affect your rating. However, I'm going to be talking about the two main things you want to make sure you avoid doing. And if you avoid these things, you should be able to make sure that your account stays in good status so you can continue to reach up to the top rated status and then keep that status. So the very first thing you want to make sure you do not do, and this is the easiest thing to end up doing if you're selling on multiple platforms, is you do not want to cancel a sale. If a buyer asks you to cancel a sale, that's totally different. You can select an option saying the buyer requested to cancel. However, you never want to cancel the item saying that you do not have the item anymore. If you sold it on another platform and then you sell it on eBay, but you already shipped it out, then you're going to have to cancel that, and that will put a little defect on your account. That's why if you sell something at the same time on like a different platform and on eBay, I would highly recommend, just even if you made more on the other platform, cancel the other platform and sell it on eBay, because it's not worth having that defect, especially if you haven't had a ton of sales. That like percentage of defect versus not defect is going to be a lot greater, and you're going to be in a really bad status. So it's super important to be super on top of your listings. If you sell something and ship it out on Poshmark, go ahead and immediately delete it off on eBay. I try to be really on top of that to make sure I don't have anything on eBay that's already sold. And personally, I think I have like 2 or 3 defects on my account. I think just 2 now. And that's where like all my defects are from. So if you can avoid that, you'll be good. The second way that a lot of people talk about defects, but honestly, I feel like they talk about it in a way that's a lot worse than this other way, because in this other way, it's almost like you can't control it. But in this other case, it's really not a big deal, and a lot of people make a really big deal about it, and that is the item not as described cases. So the way people used to talk about it, I thought when I first started that if you get an item not as described case, like you get a defect on your account automatically, and that is not the case. I used to freak out about getting those cases. However, it's not a big deal to get that case. The only way that you will get a defect on your account is if you let that case stay open, or you don't resolve that case within like 3 days, and eBay has to step in. If eBay has to step in and essentially give the buyer the outcome they want, because that's always how it happens, then you will get a defect on your account. Now, it's a lot easier to appeal those defects. Let's say, for instance, like you were in the hospital and couldn't like get to your eBay for, a week, and that case been open and went by, and then it happened. You're able to appeal those defects a lot better, but you're not able to appeal if you have to cancel order. That's why like these cases are not as big of a deal. So as long as once you get that case in, you just go ahead and make sure that you get that case closed, you accept the return on it, then you're not gonna get a defect on your account. So that goes into the last thing of the INAD, or item not as described returns. So I think I've had like 10 item not as described cases, and only like 1 or 2 of those were actually legit. All the other ones are usually buyers who know that if they put the item not as described, then they're going to be able to return no matter what, as long as they stick to their ways. So that's why usually best practice is just to go ahead and accept the return and move on with your life, because if you try to get like into an argument with the buyer about like how they are obviously wrong and you're right, then you're just going to like make your day even worse. I've definitely been in those positions before. Your day just gets really bad. You like resent the buyer. It ends up being awful. And then the situation is just a lot worse at hand. Versus if you just go ahead and accept the return, move on with your life, you will forget about it in a year and everything will be just dandy. I will say you never know. There could be times when someone opens an item not as described case and they really just didn't see it in the description. Like I said, that's like super rare. But one thing that you can always do, I guess these are 2 steps you can take before going ahead and just accepting the return, is you can reach out to the buyer and say, hey, Sally, like I noticed that you said this was wrong with it. However, as you can see in the description here, and like include a screenshot, this was described in the listing when you purchased the item. Can you please go ahead and close out this case? From there, you can see, and hopefully if they are a person that has morals and they just didn't see it in the listing and then they realize that it actually is in the listing, they can, on their behalf, they can close out that return. And that is the only way for it to be completely resolved at all. You can't close a return at all. They have to do it on their end, but they are able to do it. I've actually had that happen to me before, where someone opened a case. I even didn't even have time to respond, and then they closed the case. So what you can do is a first option, and praying that they're just like a good person who missed it in the listing, you can reach out to them this way and ask them to close the case, but don't be surprised if they just like go back off at you. If they keep going back off at you, if it's like really nasty, I would just go ahead and accept the return. If they are being reasonable but still saying, no, it's not as described, you can try to offer them a partial refund, whatever you feel comfortable with. If you feel like you still made a good profit on the item and are willing to take a little bit less of a profit in order to not have to deal with the return, the extra money and shipping, as well as having to list the item again and the time it might take to sell again, you could try to offer them a partial refund and see if they will accept that. Again, don't be surprised if they don't accept that. And then if that's the case, just accept the return and move on. However, with that said, if you go through those steps, you have to make sure those are done within the 3 days, because if they're nasty and they know if they just don't respond, then eBay can step in after 3 days. Then you want to make sure you accept that return before eBay has to step in, because if they open a case and just do not respond to you in 3 days, then eBay will have to step in from there. And there are ways to like say to eBay, I try to reach out to them, I try to do this, but that's just a lot more of a sticky situation as well, and a little bit more of a headache for you. So if they're being like that, I would just go ahead and accept the return. It is so rare, and I don't think I've ever had a case where I have had an I'm not subscribed go in my favor when reaching out to eBay. And like I said, and so many times in the past, especially when I started, I let it get to me so much, and it literally made my day so bad. But now I kind of just like move on from them, and it happens, and they always seem to happen like all at the same time. So don't get down if you get like 2 or 3 in one day, because that always tends to happen, and then you don't get another one for like 6 months. Just know that when that happens, you're not going to get a defect just for having it open, and at the end of the day, just accept the return, have eBay just send them a label, and then move on. I could go into those things a little bit more about the global shipping program, which is totally different. But again, this is going to be a surface level video. So hopefully you took away what you needed to in order to get started on eBay and know all the basics. Honestly, just knowing these things will get you through so much on eBay. eBay has so many little back end things and little sales and little discounts and little things that can help your sales. But overall, doing these things, making sure you're in good standing, having your account be at a place where it needs to be at and help you to save money, this is all you need to know. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them below in the comments, or you can send me a DM on Instagram at ReCloth Collection. If you're looking for some extra resources to help level up your reselling business, check out my website, ReClothCollection.com, and make sure to subscribe to my channel if you do like videos like this and are looking for more information about reselling and business. I do put out videos every single Wednesday. And of course, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. It really helps my channel. Other than that, I will see you next time. Bye.